Our goal is to put users in control of their own security, and the Librem 14 is our most secure laptop yet. The Librem 14's hardware kill switches have been placed front and center with additional indicator lights. Customers requested that the switches be more visible, and noticed when the switches were on the side, they could be flipped when placed into a bag. With the new design, you can always see the current state and you won't have to worry about them being flipped accidentally. Headphones often have a tiny microphone in them. To help increase security, if you leave your headphones plugged in, the webcam and microphone's hardware kill switch will also disable the headphone's jack's microphone. The Librem 14 can completely avoid attacks on Wi-Fi and its associated protocols by using the onboard Ethernet port. This allows you to keep your Wi-Fi hardware kill switch off, or even remove the Wi-Fi card altogether if it isn't used. A new set of switches have been added to the motherboard. These will allow you to write protect the BIOS and EC firmware. Currently, the physical switches are implemented, but we still need to complete some software and configuration work so they actually trigger write protection. Supply chain attacks on firmware continue to be a growing concern in the security community. As a response, we went through several additional steps on the Librem 14 to help secure its firmware. The Intel Management Engine is disabled, and we're working to remove as much of the ME code as possible in future updates. Like with other Librem laptops, Pureboot is available to help further your security story. With Pureboot, you can detect attacks on your boot firmware and kernel rootkits before booting into your operating system using keys you control. Just turn on your Librem 14 with the Librem key inserted and it will blink green if everything is safe, or it will show an error or blink red if it detects tampering. Starting with the Librem 14, we're shipping an embedded controller running freed firmware. The embedded controller manages the keyboard in addition to many other core features on a laptop. Having freed the firmware will allow you to audit the EC for backdoors and security flaws. It also gives Librem 14 owners much more control over their hardware. From the basics of controlling the keyboard's backlight with FN plus F4 to playing with the notification lights or even the Wi-Fi indicator. Here's an example script that turns your Wi-Fi indication light into a network traffic monitor. All dependencies to control the Librem 14's light can be found on the PureOS repositories. By default, the Librem 14 will ship with PureOS 10, codenamed Byzantium. This is our latest and greatest release of PureOS, featuring many security and convergent improvements. It's the operating system that unifies the desktop and phone by running the same adaptive packages on all platforms. For users who want even more security, perhaps at the expense of some convenience, we offer the latest version of Cubes on an optional USB drive you can add to your order and install when you receive your Librem 14. The core idea of Cubes is to put everything in its own virtual machine. Having so many virtual machines does have a cost, but makes the software much harder to exploit. Fortunately, the Librem 14 has resources to spare, with a 6-core, 12-thread 10th Gen i7 processor, fast NVMe storage, and up to 64 gigs of RAM. The Librem 14 is the best laptop for Cubes. We also offer Anti-Interdiction Services to help ensure nothing is tampered with in shipping. This is an optional add-on service where we use encrypted email to custom tailor security measures to protect a laptop during shipment, including protecting the hardware itself with tamper-evident seals. Get cutting-edge security that puts you in control with the Librem 14. Order your Purism device at puri.sm.